Hi guys, Dave here from Wolf in the Wild Survival. Episode 6, I think it is, of Trailer Trash Tuesdays. Which means I've been doing this roughly 6 weeks, I believe. And yeah, I'm good. I'm still enjoying myself. I haven't had, really any second thoughts or whatever. I'm very comfortable here. I would have killed for a fort like this when I was a kid, let me tell you. So I'm feeling like a big kid, which I think I might have said before, but I'm saying it again. I feel like a big kid sometimes. And a lot of people, they kind of look at me, like, really? Like, just, like, nomadic lifestyle kind of whatever, like you don't put roots down or anything? You know what? I don't mind it at all. Okay, so, what have I done this week as far as the trailer goes? I had to move the trailer. Now, where I was before, there was like a great big giant building. There was only people who they were renting a very small portion in the back of the building, a little office area or whatever. It was like an old Bradford Exchange. And the whole thing was empty. And they didn't really care that I was there, especially, me coming and going in a security uniform. They, kind of, I think they liked having the added security to the area, or they just didn't care. They did get a hold of me because I keep a note in my windows, saying, hey, if there's an issue, if there's a problem, give me a call and I will come move the trailer, and my phone number is on it. So they gave me a call and they were like, hey, sorry to have to tell you this, but, we need you to get your trailer out of there. We finally rented out this area, and the people who rented it out are going to start fencing off the entire parking lot, which means, your trailer can't be there no more. Now, it's kind of odd that they would want to fence off the parking lot if they're only using it to park, because my trailer was there, like, probably, 3 weeks? And nobody ever bothered it. Nobody touched it at all. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with it, but I had to move. So a buddy of mine did suggest that, hey, why don't you come throw it in my driveway and, we'll plug it into the house and, I'll help you fix it up. Because he's had a trailer for, like, years and he knows more about this stuff than I do. So that was kind of an idea that I was kind of 50-50 about. Yeah, it would be kind of nice to be able to do that. And it, like, having it plugged in would almost be like me already having the solar hooked up. But it kind of defeats the purpose of the whole idea of going across the country in a trailer and being able to just stay in it and, kind of bebop here and there. So, at any rate, his girlfriend was not thrilled about it at all, and it was kind of a no deal. So I didn't have to make that decision. It was still super nice of him to consider me and to try to make that happen for me. But I'm kind of happy the way it worked out. I'm still in the experiment the way I originally kind of intended the experiment to go. So the trailer's now moved. I'm not near train tracks anymore, which is really, really nice. Moving the trailer, however, I kind of figured out the plug that plugs from the front of the trailer to the back of my truck. It was too short. So I'd have just enough to get it plugged in, but when I'd like turn and I'd need more plug than I had, blow apart. So I had to go down to the Canadian Tire, buy a new plug, and I had to kind of redo it. And I went on to Amazon and I bought an extension because Canadian Tire didn't have the extensions. For some of you guys, American friends or whatever watching this, Canadian Tire is kind of like your Lowe's or like a store that's got like hardware and tools and home decor, it's got hunting, camping, fishing, it's got kind of a trailer section. It's like this great big hardware store and some. It's just chock right full of junk. And, I mean, if you need something or other, utility-like, there's a pretty good chance. They also have a service center where they fix, allegedly, vehicles. Because as soon as I got all of this fixed up, started having trouble with my truck. Now, the last time I took my truck to Canadian Tire, they ran me up like well over $1,000, never fixed it. They kept, kind of, let's do the next thing, and it just kind of turned into this money pit where it wasn't getting fixed. But I was spending a lot of money. They put a new battery in it to replace a brand new battery. The battery was like 8 weeks old. They put a new battery in and still charged me for that new battery when it didn't work. Rather than put the old battery back in, they charged me for the new battery and the core charge and da-da-da-da-da. So, I don't like taking my truck to Canadian Tire. I really don't. But I had no choice because it's Civic Holiday weekend up here in Canada. All the shops are closed. Canadian Tire is the only service center I could find that was open. And my gear shifting just basically blew apart. So I can't drive the truck. I can't do anything. Well, I can't just not have a vehicle. I live in a trailer, for crying out loud. What if I need to move it? So I took it down to the Canadian Tire, and they put a new part on it, and it lasted 5 hours. Now I gotta wait until Thursday for another part to come in, because the one part they fixed is still good, but the other part, kind of whatever, well, yeah, that's no go. So they only replaced one out of the two parts that were kind of messed up. Now, in their defense, I guess, the guy was talking to me. He apologized and he said, look, I thought that part was still good. I'm so sorry. We'll get the part, and, you'll have to pay for the part, which isn't that expensive, but we won't charge you for, us to put that part in. We'll only charge you the cost of the part. So, I'm going to go ahead with that, too, and hopefully that fixes everything, but, I mean, I do not like going to Canadian Tire to have my vehicle fixed. Now, also, the Canadian Tire that ran me up well over $1,000 and never fixed my vehicle wasn't the same Canadian Tire that I took my truck to this last time either. It's a totally different town. I got stranded way up north. It was a whole ordeal. I got a couple of videos around that time where I talked about it, I think. So, right now, I'm kind of... I can use my truck and I can shift gears or whatever, but every once in a while it just blows apart and I got to crawl underneath and put it all back together. I've tried twist ties. I've tried electrical tape. I've tried, I don't want to, do anything that's going to hinder their ability to fix that when the time comes. I don't want to, Gorilla Glue the thing or whatever, so... I'm just trying to get it so that I can use it for a week, or, well, not even a week, 4 or 5 days. And then, they can get that fixed and hopefully it's fine. But, I mean, I'm driving along and all of a sudden it just pops out of gear and I gotta pull over on a, city street and crawl underneath the vehicle to put it back together. When it rains, it pours. But at least the trailer's good. I got the extension, I got the plug, I got 2 propane tanks, I got everything, everything in the trailer's working fine. All I got to do now is get a solar panel and a deep cell or deep cycle battery. Man, those things are expensive. Holy jumpins', I had no idea how expensive they could be. That's for another video. That's a whole nother rant. But, wow. Okay, so anyway, improvements to the trailer this week. Well, not really a whole lot. I've already spent, about, I don't know, maybe $100 or so just sort of doing trailer. repaired, with the front thing and the different parts and whatever, the propane tank and getting it filled and kind of whatever. A buddy of mine actually helped me out with the second tank because he had a barbecue, but he's moving and he doesn't need his barbecue, so yay, save money. But I did do one improvement, which is part of the reason why I'm so broke, because I had to use some of my money and I had to borrow some money to spend the $600 on that truck for it not to be fixed yet. Okay, let's do some visual aid here. Okay, so this is what I was using for power for the first 5 weeks, I guess. And all in all, this isn't all that bad. This is a battery booster for a vehicle. But it does have 3 USB-C plugins on it. So I was using this to keep most of my stuff charged. The only thing that I couldn't do is I couldn't use my Surface Pro because the battery on it only lasts about 4 or 5 hours. So when I'm off for an entire weekend, I don't get much use out of my Surface Pro with, only having this thing here. So, when I bought this, it was because I have an old vehicle and I like to be prepared. So if I was having trouble starting my vehicle, I could just plug it in, turn it on, and start it up. And I've actually used it to help other people as well, so I don't have to pull my vehicle up to theirs and, yank out a bunch of extension cables and blah, blah, blah. I just open up my back hatch, I grab this, I go over to their vehicle, and I give them a boost. There was a guy who put a patch on his bike tire, and he was trying to pump his bike tire with one of those little hand pumps. And I pulled over, and I was like, hey, I got a compressor on a unit here, and I pumped his tire up for him. So it's super helpful in a lot of cases. And I got a screw stuck in one of my front tires, so I actually use this to keep that front tire filled with air. It's very, very slow leak, so I gotta, pump it up maybe once a week. But still, I can do it anywhere because I got this here. When I bought it, if I knew that I was gonna be using it for this, I would have upgraded to the one that had a 110 plug-in. But, live and learn, right? My problem with this, it takes like 24, 28 hours for the thing to charge. Like, it does not charge very quickly at all. You got to charge it for more than a day. And just using it to keep my phone charged, some batteries, kind of whatever, my tablet, I'll kill it in 3 days easy. Maybe less than 3 days. So, more than a full day to charge it, 3 days use. But that's not really what it was designed for. So, I can't really complain much. My only other major complaint is right here, there's a button that turns on a flashlight. Now, I can see how a flashlight will be useful. And why wouldn't it have a flashlight? But when it's in the back of my truck, if that thing gets bumped, that button gets bumped one time, and it don't take much, like just one little click, that flashlight turns on, and then I go to use it, and the battery's dead. It's, it's useless until I can plug it in for a day and a half to get it to charge up again. So, I decided that it was time to do an upgrade and just keep this for, emergency purposes for my truck and, kind of whatever. Also, I was using just little battery packs that it's dead now, but that basically, I got another one over here that's charging my phone right now, and I've got another one that I'm using to charge camera batteries, a camera battery actually. I started filming yesterday, and then I took the camera and I put it in the backpack, and I didn't stop to record. So I got like 15 minutes of recording in my backpack. that's I got to edit all that now. But yeah, so I use my battery packs for, you know, little jobs, little tasks, whatever, and I keep these charged up in my truck. But I went out and I got a well, I didn't go out. On Amazon, I got a portable power station. I like this thing. I really, really do. I don't really want to give too much a review on it because I've only had it for about a week. But it's got two like 110 plugins right here. And then it's got USB-C and a USB-A. And it does, it's not going to turn on. It does have a flashlight, but as you can see, I just killed the battery on it early this morning. So I had 4 days off this week, and I just killed the battery. Also, this thing will charge pretty much to full capacity in like 2 hours or less. This is heads and tails, without a doubt, a much better unit to be using in a camper trailer than a battery booster for a vehicle. You know, I mean, I'm so happy that I bought it. Now, this is a $500 unit. I got it on sale for $300. I will probably give a really good review on this thing based on what I know about it so far. I'm just waiting a while, but this has made my weekend so much more enjoyable. On top, it's got like you can put your phone on top of it and it wirelessly charges the phone. It's got you can charge it by plugging it in, or you can charge it through solar panel, which I will be doing when I get the solar panel. And it's got a, like the old style cigarette lighter, little 12 volt brown plug-in thing. So it is very, very versatile. I get a lot of use out of it. I'm so happy I bought this, even though I have like maybe $5 in my account right now. I wish I could have afforded a better one. This is, I think it's 268 watt hours. On the package it says this thing will run a mini fridge for about 4 hours. So, I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. You know, I mean, a fridge, holy jumpins'. You can get an extension, a battery pack that, you know, clicks onto it. I don't know where it would plug in, maybe through here, I don't know, but you can get one. I didn't, because, you know, I could barely really afford the $300 that I had to spend on it. But I might get the extension later. And when I get solar panels, I will be able to charge this thing through the solar panel. I still want to get a deep cycle battery because I think I've mentioned this before. I don't leave valuables in my trailer when I'm not in the trailer or really, really close to it. My other valuable stuff, everything goes into my truck when I leave. I lock everything, you know, the trailer gets locked up and whatever, but I do not leave valuables in the trailer. So one thing that, like, if I'm charging this thing on solar panel and I'm plugging it in and unplugging it all the time, that's just eventually going to ruin the battery on it. So I like to just go plug it in at work when I'm there and, you know, charge it up, and, you know, that's that. It's going to be a whole lot easier when I have the deep cycle battery, because I could plug it in when I know I'm going to be here for 2 hours and charge the thing up and then take it with me. And it should charge up in that time just fine off of a deep cycle battery. You don't know about solar panels because that all depends on how much sunlight you have. So on a really, really sunny day, I might be able to get away with it, but still. So this will be charged through solar energy from time to time, kind of whatever. But until I get the deep cycle battery, not so much. I really still need to get a deep cycle battery for my camper trailer. Other than that, I mean, power is really the only real consideration at this point. And the only reason why it's a consideration is because right now I don't have a fridge. I have a fridge, but it's not being powered. So until I get the deep cycle battery and the solar panel, at least one 100-watt solar panel, maybe two, hopefully, I don't have the use of a fridge. I have some coolers, and they're doing okay, but a solar-powered fridge would be so much better at this point. So, power is something that, I'm kind of working on for the now. With this setback with, the truck and, kind of whatever, it's going to take me a little while to, kind of bounce back from that and get all that done. And that's kind of the moral for this week. If you're thinking about doing RV life or trailer life, kind of whatever, try not to jump right into it the way I did. Try to have some money saved up. You never know what's going to break. You never know what's going to need to be repaired. You never know how much it's going to cost. I broke I thought it was a $25 part. It turned out to be both parts. So like $160, $180 part and a $30 part. And if you're handy, you can fix it yourself, but I don't know. I'm not that handy with automotive mechanics. And I don't even have, tools to do a lot of that stuff. So, I have to bite the bullet, and I have to pay somebody to do it who has more know-how than I do, and who has tools and kind of whatever. And, I still have to, do something with my furnace, which is another video as well, but my furnace needs some attention as well, and I'm going to have to hopefully do it myself because, I don't have the money for this. And if I was smart, I would have had some money saved up. I would have had some money set aside in my account, like $1,000, $2,000. If I had money saved aside, I wouldn't be sitting here with $5 in my account going, gee, what do I do? It's a week until I get paid. Not a big deal, though. I have use of my truck. It's just a bit of a pain right now. When it blows apart, I gotta crawl underneath it and kind of, I don't even want to get started with that. But I've got a ton of food. I've got, everything that I need for the week. It's just going to be a little bit testy for my patience, you might say, dealing with that, the SUV. So, have some money set aside. That's the moral. Now, something I wanted to address. Somebody threw up in my comments, hey, your videos are they're kind of dark. They're kind of, hard to see, what you're doing, what's going on. Sorry about that. I should have realized that, and I'm sure there's a something on my video editor that will allow me to adjust the brightness and contrast, which I will do from now on. I really, really appreciate your comment. Thank you so much for pointing that out to me. Constructive criticism to help improve my videos, I appreciate that to no end. You have no idea. And, if you have suggestions, if you have any constructive criticism, please jump in the comments. let me know. Um, if you have something that you like, an idea that you think might make the trailer life videos a little bit more interesting, throw in some suggestions. I'm kind of like the old Trailer Trash Tuesdays format. I was doing how to utilize and prepare some of these medicinal herbs. I ate a few meals, shared a few recipes or whatever, I think. And I'm thinking about sort of mixing some of that back in as well, because I don't want this to be just me sitting around yakking off and being boring. I kind of want to multifaceted this thing now, and I don't know. I mean, I'm a guy that likes to learn new things, so to me, this would be like an interesting video, but to a lot of people, it's not entertaining. Maybe they already know it, maybe they don't care to know it, maybe they're not, maybe they learn in a different way. Maybe they'd rather just sit down and read about it or whatever. I don't know. So to me, this would be kind of an interesting video, but most people probably not. Anything that you guys can throw my way, any suggestions, kind of thing. I do appreciate it. Like, the only time I get a little bit snippy in the comments is when somebody comes on and makes an unnecessarily mean comment with just basically malicious intent. Somebody coming on, oh, why don't you shut up, you talk too much. Well, okay, why don't you go watch another video then? Like, no one's forcing you, kind of whatever. That's not me with all comments. That some constructive criticism is definitely appreciated. So, thanks once again for pointing that out to me, and I'm going to, jump on my video editor soon, and I'm going to play around a little bit and figure out how to use that better, and I'm going to lighten up the videos so that, you can see things easier. Most of my videos are shot outside throughout the 5 years plus I've been doing this. Now that I'm shooting inside a trailer, there's a bit of a learning curve, I guess. And, I definitely do need a better camera, but, I mean, for the time being, this is what I got. But, you know what, I'm happy to have it, and I'm happy to, be able to share with you guys. So, I think that's pretty much it for this video, then. We'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, stay wild.